Calaroga Shark Media.
I haven't used the Late Bot in a while, but it has gotten much better. Hello, I'm Johnny Mac with your daily comedy news from Late Bot. Have you heard? Donald Trump is launching his own line of sneakers. They're designed to get over any obstacle, unless that obstacle is releasing your tax returns. That is a solid joke, AI. The sneakers are said to be incredibly durable. They claim to withstand impeachment processes, subpoenas, and even the occasional Capitol riot. The sneakers are designed for those who love to run for office, run away from tax auditors, or run towards Twitter. Congratulations to Adam Sandler, winner of the Icon Award at the People's Choice Awards. I'm going to play a clip for you. I had to cut it down. A couple of reasons. One, it took Adam a long time to get to the stage. The person you hear speaking with him is Jennifer Aniston. And I've shared this clip in the Facebook group, which is Daily Comedy News Podcast Group. As this goes on and on and on and on and on and on, Aniston is basically making the face that I would were I hosting the People's Choice Awards. She's just like, what is happening? It's hilarious. Sandler's not hilarious. Aniston's face is hilarious. The audience rolls with it. So I'm going to play a clip here and then I'll cut it off and I'll tell you why.
Aniston, I love you so much. And I know you don't love doing stuff like this. And you come, you're okay. Thanks. I do too. You're nervous. You were fantastic. Sorry for coming up early. I got nervous too. This is going to be a little humiliating. So what happened was, all right, I know you should prepare a speech for a big night like this. I had one prepared so when my agent called me and said I won the People's Choice Icon Award, I was driving. I had him on speakerphone, and I was also eating Frosted Flakes, and I didn't hear, I think I misheard him. I thought he said, congratulations, Adam, you won the People magazine Sexiest Man Alive. So, anyways, I wrote a speech for that. And I don't have one prepared for the icon thing, but I'm going to do the speech I wrote, and because they said I got to talk a few minutes, so let's get to it. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Adam Sandler. And I am the sexiest man alive. Can I get a hell yeah? To the People magazine's Academy members of hotness and sexual attractiveness, I would like to say thank you for recognizing me as the man who made our entire country the horniest this year. and was by far the most talked about person in the bedroom by couples or thruples during fantasy role-playing slappy time. Can I get another hell yeah? I am trying to be gracious, People magazine, but I have to admit 3 words keep popping into my head right now. About freaking time.
So Sandler then goes for another 4 minutes explaining what he's going to do in the bedroom with Mrs. Sandler. And it aired on TV, but it's a little too naughty for this podcast, plus enough already. I couldn't make it to the end of the clip. It was just diminishing returns. He went for like 6 minutes. What are you doing, Adam Sandler? Icon of the year. And be honest with me, did you find that funny? I know he does the dumb voice. I know Hollywood's going to go along with it unless you're Joe Coy having your career murdered by Taylor Swift. But boy, that's just not funny. I'm sorry, it's not funny. The People's Choice Awards, the comedy movie of the year. The nominees were 80 for Brady, Anyone But You, Are You There, God, It's Me, Margaret. That happened to Asteroid City, Cocaine Bear. Ooh, that should have won. No Hard Feelings, and Wonka. The winner, Barbie, of course. Comedy Movie Star of the Year, the nominee is Adam Sandler for You Are So Not Invited to My Bat Mitzvah. That happened, remember that? Glenn Powell for Anyone But You. Margot Robbie for Barbie. Ryan Gosling for Barbie. Scarlett Johansson, Asteroid City. Sydney Sweeney, Anyone But You. Timothy Chalamet for Wonka. The winner, Jennifer Lawrence in No Hard Feelings. Comedy Show of the Year, the nominees, Abbott Elementary, Just Like That, Never Have I Ever, SNL, Ted Lasso, The Bear, Young Sheldon. The winner, Only Murders in the Building. Comedy TV Star of the Year, Ali Wong for Beef, Bowen Yang SNL, Hannah Waddingham for Ted Lasso, Jason Sudeikis Ted Lasso, Quinta Brunson Abbott, Selena Gomez Only Murders, Steve Martin Only Murders. The winner, Jeremy Allen White, The Bear. Comedy TV Star of the Year. Did you watch The Bear? I love The Bear. We're going to say that was Jeremy Allen White was the comedic performance of the year. What are we doing? Nighttime talk show of the year. Kevin Hart's Heart to Heart is apparently a thing. Has anyone actually seen that? Jimmy Kimmel, Oliver, Seth, Daily Show with no host, Late Show, Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen, and the winner, The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. Not going to give that to Oliver? Okay. Host of the year went to a bunch of things, but Jimmy Fallon won for That's My Jam. And the comedy act of the year, the nominees were John Mulaney's Baby J, Amy Schumer's Emergency Contact, no way, Marlon Wayans' God Loves Me, no way, Wanda Sykes' I'm an Entertainer, no way, Trevor Noah's Off the Record, Kevin Hart's Reality Check, nah, Sarah Silverman, Someone You Love, but the winner, Chris Rock, Selective Outrage. I don't think Chris Rock was there to accept the award. I haven't seen anything online. Meanwhile, in the UK at the BAFTAs, Nick Mohammed, you know him from Ted Lasso. He was explaining to the audience what would happen if there's an emergency. The order of evacuation would be starting with me, then in order of importance, the BAFTA trophies, followed by winners, nominees, publicists, everyone else, then the influencers. That joke landed well, and then he went, oh, and the royals. And then the cameras cut to Prince William, who found the joke funny because it is funny. And if you want to follow with the royals, a lot been going on lately. Harry and Meghan at it again, always fun. Follow the podcast Palace Intrigue, wherever you get your shows. Sam Morril mixing it up, taking a shot at Stephen A. Smith, and I'm all for it. Boy, that'd be a great war to have. Sam has called out Stephen on his Twitter feed. Dan Lebitard asked Sam about this, and Sam said, Stephen A. is a curse to the franchise. Stop rooting for us. I don't want you on our side. Anytime he calls a game we lose, go away. How could ESPN get any worse? Dude, replace him with Richard Jefferson or JJ Redick or someone who knows what they're talking about. He apparently also doesn't like Kenny Smith on TNT. Sam said, TNT, I love those guys, but they won't give the Knicks props. I know what Kenny Smith has against New York, being a New York guy, but get over it, dude. We're here. No one wants us in the playoffs. We just got to get healthy. Cool. Hopefully that starts a war. D.L. Hughley said, I would never go on Club Shay. That's Shannon Sharp's podcast. Probably best known for Cat Williams scorching the entire earth. DL was caught walking out of a building by reporters or paparazzi and said, no, I haven't spoken to Monique. Would he take anything back that he said about Monique? And he said, not one thing. She said what she said. I said what I said. We're grown people. We don't have to be in the same space. But I think the idea that people need to reconcile when they're obviously never going to see things eye to eye is a bit of a fallacy. Fun. Jenny Slate has a special on Amazon Prime. It'll be out on the 23rd, which I think is Friday, right? 1920. Yep, Friday. I went to pull a clip. It takes her too long to set up the joke to get to the laugh. So, I don't like doing those long clips on this podcast. She spoke to the New Yorker. The New Yorker interview is kind of not the best interview I ever read. Let me leave it at that. But it opened with Jenny apologizing for her cold. And she said, I'm embarrassed about the fluid situation. I found that after COVID, the sound of fluid in the nose is a turnoff for many people, which totally makes sense. So I'm calling out that I know that I'm gross. Grub Street following around Moshe Kasher. Grub Street will do this. They'll ask somebody to log what they eat for a week. I could do that, but you'd be bored. Here's what I do. Donut chain, usually a coffee roll. Smoothie place, smoothie. Sometimes I get a buffalo wrap, and a lot of times I don't eat dinner. But if there's a bag of M&Ms, I've been known to grab a handful as I walk by. I got to start running again. Moshe Kasher told Grub Street, for change of pace, I went to eat lunch at the Moynihan Food Hall at Penn Station. I go with pizza, but I'm not sure if you know this, but New York is said to have the third best pizza in America after Cleveland and, of course, my hometown, sunny Los Angeles, the Napoli of the West. I buy 2 slices at Sauce. The crust is so thin, it's reminiscent of the bread of affliction of my people. I fold both slices like a real New York guy. That way, no one knows I'm a tourist. Paula Poundstone told The Day that she has regular ping pong parties in the backyard of her house in Santa Monica. My daughter and I added up one time how many times I've done them. It's now over 70. She cajoles the 50 attendees to compete in a ping pong tournament. And she says, because of inflation, I've upped the prices to $100 instead of $50. I have a fantastic antique scoreboard from a flea market. She says she will often don a blank name tag. When I get nervous, I can't remember names. The blank name tag is a great conversation starter, and it's embarrassing to ask somebody who's been to my party 70 times what their name is. Axios asked Josh Gondelman, are people from around the country shocked that you grew up in the Boston suburbs, but you don't act or talk like Bill Burr? Josh said, people almost always assume I'm from the Midwest or Canada until I start talking about the Celtics. People associate the Boston area with a very Wahlbergian machismo, and they tend not to give as much notice to other folks who have come here with different vibes. What does he like to eat in Stoneham? He said, I've gotten a little out of the loop, but I will say the Stones was very accommodating of my recent Stoneham High School reunion, and I always try to make time for a run at Anna's Taqueria when I'm back in town. AL.com is in Alabama, asked Dusty Slay. Dusty Slay's your real name, correct? Dusty said, it's my real name. I mean, some could argue that my name is a little different on my government paperwork, but I've always been called Dusty Slay by my parents and everyone. I think he told Neil Brennan his name is Dustin. Al.com said, with a name like that, it seems like you're predestined to be a wrestler. Dusty said, well, I grew up watching wrestling, or wrestling as I called it. I don't know when I started calling it wrestling and people stopped calling it wrestling. Yet it happened at some point in my life. I grew up watching that. You see all these pro wrestling promos and all those guys are talking to me, and that's cool stuff. I grew up listening to country music. I love country, and that's where I got a lot of inspiration from. Merle Haggard is very famous for doing working man songs. He addressed how being sober has shaped his comedy. He said it was just real clarity and some real self-control and discipline. I mean, that was the thing for me with drinking. I never had control. I was still doing comedy. I was still funny. In fact, I won a competition in Charleston as a drinker, but the moment I stopped drinking, I started being able to write jokes better and faster, and I could remember them better. And just my daily walk was better in general, because as a drinker, I'm always kind of pursuing that next beer, but when you eliminate that, then you're in pursuit of other things. You need to find other things to bring you fulfillment, and I didn't lose as many friends. Nate Bargatze is out on tour. What can we expect to hear? Nate said, I talk about what I would have been doing if stand-up didn't work out. Stuff about my wife and my parents getting older. Every time I'm older than I was when I did the last special. Yes, that is how time works, Nate. So I talk about where I'm at in my life and stuff that I'm going through. It's fun to grow with your audience. What would you have done if you didn't do stand-up? I was a water meter reader. I read water meters. I would have been working for that company probably. Hopefully by now, I would have moved out of water meter reading and higher up, but I don't know. Got a press release. Orange Theory fitness and comedian Hannah Berner have announced Hannah's next breakout comedy event. It is called WTF is OTF. On February 28th, Hannah Berner will take the stage for a roast of the fitness industry and the many cliches and fads that come along with it. The event will take place in New York City. It'll also live stream on TikTok. Hannah Berner said, this WTF is OTF comedy event is going to be epic. Expect laughs, roasts, and maybe a little sweat. I know firsthand what it's like to be in a bit of a fitness limbo, and all the fads swirling around at the start of the year don't help. What Orange Theory helped me to realize is that sweating it out doesn't have to be too serious, and this partnership proves that while answering all of our biggest fitness WTFs. I'm actually planning on hitting the exercise bike right after I finish this recording. I'll do the edits later. Hoping to do a 45-minute on Apple Fitness Plus. From Deadline, Bassem Youssef claims he lost a role in James Gunn's Superman Legacy movie due to his public support of Palestine during a Piers Morgan segment. Deadline says Youssef taped an audition pre-actor strike for the role of Ruman Harjadi, but by the time Gunn turned in his final version, the role was cut, and that was before Youssef was on Piers Morgan. James Gunn went on Twitter and said, this is accurate, meaning that the character was cut from Superman Legacy before the Piers Morgan interview. Last week, Youssef told Salon, I was cast in the movie Superman, then they told me we changed the script after this Piers Morgan interview. I want to assume good faith. I want to know. I want to believe it's true. I was a little bitter, and I wanted to go, okay, screw DC, screw Warner Brothers, but then I understand the emotional burden that those people have. I mean, those people have a connection with Israel. I understand maybe the people who were in charge took that decision, looked at me, and didn't want to have me, and maybe I understand if I'm an Arab Muslim, I was the head of Warner Brothers, I wouldn't want a pro-Zionist or a pro-Israel to be in my movie if he attacked people. I understand. This is the thing we need to dissect. When I attack Israel, I attack its policy. I'm not attacking Jewish people. A source close to the situation tells Deadline this is probably a case of he said, Who knows? If you want a new special to watch today, this one on OTT, you can rent this one. It is Mary Basmajian's Funny Armenian Girl. Mary's living that old USA Network motto, characters welcome. Specifically, the outspoken Vartush, her take on the quintessential Armenian aunt. Vartush is a large part of how Mary grew her online following, so will naturally make an appearance in the special alongside more conventional stand-up about online dating and body image. And that is your comedy news for today. Check out 5 Good News Stories. I'm having a lot of fun hosting that one. Number 5, Good News Stories. That one comes out Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And today's Tuesday, but it doesn't mean the other episodes aren't there. It's not like you can only listen on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And if you enjoy this program, tell a friend about it or share it with them or something like that. And I'll see you tomorrow.